If you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Yo. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking how? Everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, loud. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter, he's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stacked that he knows when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go back to this moment and hope it don't happen.
Listen, we can talk about the flag, but let's talk about... Wait.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media Live, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Retweet, share, like, smash every button you can see. Let's go and get this day started right away. I am Phil Steffi, your host at Beard and Knowledge on Twitter, joined today by Jason Voorhees at Mustang3651. Good morning, Jason. How you doing today?
Doing fantastic, brother. What's going on?
We got a jam-packed show. We got lots to discuss today. As we roll into the second day of this week, lots going on in sports, lots going on in Philly. So today, Jason, we're going to talk. We're going to do a confidence level check today. Okay,
level set.
We're going to check on where our confidence level is with different topics. Obviously, the Sixers got Game 5 tonight. The Phillies are out on the West Coast. They had a big win last night while we were all sleeping. Well, while all us old heads were sleeping. And, you know, it's time as the NFL schedule gets released on Thursday night, you know, it's time to start bringing the Eagles back into the conversation for a few weeks. So we're going to talk confidence level check on the Eagles a little bit as well. So lots to talk about. But before we talk confidence level check, I feel like we need to spend a little bit more time talking about the highway robbery that was announced yesterday. You know, it was announced at mid-show. The news was breaking. Again, I didn't have a breaking news banner ready to go, and that was Nikola Jokic won the MVP, not Joel Embiid. So I don't know if you want to talk about whether it was highway robbery or not, but the one thing that I know more than anything is that going into Game 5 tonight, if you thought you saw a motivated Joel Embiid, we are going to see 10 times more motivated Joel Embiid, 10 times more pissed off Joel Embiid, 10 times more fight and drive from Joel Embiid. And I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever there. Now, Joel Embiid gets the criticism for being the dirty player, for being the tough, the player that everybody hates. But let's be honest, Nikola Jokic is even more dirty of a player. He misses games as well. He missed 8 games this year. He doesn't lead his team. He's never gotten his team out of the first round of the playoffs. So why I ask you, does the NBA voters love Nikola Jokic so much? Or is it simply that they hate Joel Embiid and they hate the process that much? My mind cannot wrap itself around how Joel Embiid did not get the MVP. Last year, you could have given me the missed games excuse, and I could have at least said, I disagree, but okay, you're right. But this year, Joel Embiid played 68 games. He carried a team without Ben Simmons or James Harden, basically, for 3/4 of the season. He was near the number 1 seed the entire season. I can't wrap my head around this. And maybe I'm a biased Philly fan, but I can't get my head around this one, Jason. And I need your help here explaining what is causing Joel Embiid not to get the respect he deserves.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. In my opinion, it has nothing to do with you being a biased Sixers fan. It has everything to do with the truth. And the fact of the matter is, and the truth is, these awards today and the awards processes and Hall of Fames and the votings for these kind of all these things. All of the processes are flawed because, in my opinion, a lot of times, and this is where I think they need to really rethink their positioning on these awards, because I know that they use them for like regular season, and they don't generally count. Obviously, that it's already been done, so the playoffs aren't over. But to me, Jokic, his team's out in the first round. Okay,
2 years in a row.
exactly. I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, "Well, Jokic led the Nuggets, while Murray and Porter were out."
Right.
Okay, that's fine. But Joel Embiid led the Sixers with basically nobody else. Nobody. And now they're down 0-2, and he brings them back. As soon as he comes back from being out for 2 games, all of a sudden they're back in the series. They probably would have swept, as we talked about yesterday. There's absolutely zero reason in the world why Joel Embiid is not the MVP. And it's a disgrace. It's a black mark on the NBA. It really is. Because I just think it shows that when it comes to these things, talk about bias. I think there is a bias against the Sixers. And against Joel.
Do you really? Because to me, it's a conspiracy theory that this whole entire thing since day one, when Sam Hinkie was quote unquote forced out for the Colangelos, it's a conspiracy theory that the NBA forced Sixers ownership to make a change there. But it's a conspiracy theory that's been going on now for years. Is there any merit that there really is a conspiracy that the NBA does not want to validate the process? And before you answer that, the thing that we have to say is the process is going on in Oklahoma City right now. They literally have 17 first-round picks over the next 5 years. So they just haven't given it a catchy slogan to sell T-shirts with in OKC. So the question is, is there validity to this conspiracy theory that the NBA is really anti the process?
I mean, it's absolutely valid. If this doesn't prove it, then I don't know what can. Because, like I said, the fact of the matter is,
let the top 75 list player decide. I love it. Yep, agreed with you, Casey. Absolutely. People will never play. Yeah, picking the winner. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead, Jason. I was running through some comments there.
Well, and that's that. Herein lies the problem. It's the process of picking it. It's not the actual award. It's the problem with the way it's picked. And it's across all sports. Like I said, you can look at the Hall of Fame. We've talked about the Hall of Fame ad nauseum. Aaron and I, on our last show, we talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and how that's a farce. I mean, how you have rap artists getting it. Not that rap artists don't deserve it, but how do you put a rap artist in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and not a rock and roller in the Hall of Fame? Like, that's where I'm talking about. Like, all of these processes are flawed in that they have people picking the awards that either A, don't give a shit and just pick who they want, or B, they've never been in the entity that they're picking for. Like Joe just said, people that never played basketball, never played a day in their life, and they're picking the award. How is that possible? That would be like me picking the MVP. I've never played basketball. I've never played I played back in the day, pickup, I
want to see Jason Voorhees, good old Jason Voorhees on the pickup courts down at the park,
I'm horrible.
I want to see what 12-year-old Jason Voorhees on the basketball.
I'm horrible, man. I mean, I could hit a 3 maybe 10% of the time. Like,
yeah, that's not bad. All right, I'll give you. That's okay. As long as you're not that dude in that GIF just jacking up shots, bricking every single one of them.
Yeah,
But see, the thing is, like, I don't even care. I just think it's so blatantly obvious how biased they are against the Sixers. And I think in a sense that's good for the Sixers. And as we go into game 5 tonight, I think that's good for the Sixers. Because if there's a bias against this team and this organization league wide, hey, I saw people posting, comments, yesterday and actually during game 4. Of course, the Sixers won one game in the series, and the NBA sent Scott Fisher down. Our James Harden's mortal enemy of a referee. It's like literally he wasn't on the schedule to ref that game, then all of a sudden he is on the schedule to ref that game. I mean, there's literally every single day something else that can come along that proves that the league is against this organization right now. And it should put a chip on Joel Embiid. It should put a chip on this team to want to push past it. Really, it really, really should.
I mean, there's a ton of people coming out, in Joel's defense. I saw, a lot of, WNBA players, saying that it's a farce. How does Joel not get it? There's a lot of celebrities I hear, making announcements. Like
Kevin Durant made comments. Kevin Durant and Joel Embiid on the court have gotten at each other's throats, but it's a competitive, like they're trying to push each other. They want to be, better. They both want to win, but off the court, they respect each other's games nonstop. And that's why Kevin Durant blatantly, you got a guy that's won the MVP, that is on one of this team's biggest rivals, that was projected to win the NBA title this year, standing up for Joel Embiid. I don't know. It's extremely frustrating because I know Joel Embiid will say that it doesn't matter. The real trophy is the NBA title at the end of the season, but you still want to get recognized as the best.
Well,
and now we have to say that Jokic is a 2-time back-to-back MVP, and it's not right. I mean,
I think you nailed it. I think this is what's going to happen, and I think it's clear. I think next year, or the new, after this season's over, the new season, I think Embiid will have a lesser season, like as far as like numbers, but he'll get the MVP because, like as you said yesterday, they're going to feel bad that they didn't vote him 2 years in a row and they think they screwed him. So now all of a sudden he'll get it. And to me, those kind of things are a joke. It's an absolute joke. Like it's like actually almost an insult. It's like, okay, well, we're going to give you the MVP now because we had to. Yeah. Like, no, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Like, it doesn't work that you just give the MVP when you think it. No. And like I said, I don't get it. I understand why Jokic is like looked at it and viewed as being this great player, but I don't see him doing the things that Embiid does. I just don't. And maybe that's because maybe I am biased.
As Joe Bucci said, they have to take Jokic out at crunch time because of his bad defense. Joe Embiid anchors his defense. Markieff Morris, who plays for the Heat, this was he played in game 4. It was the first time he saw the court since January when Nikolai Jokic shoulder blocked him in the back in a regular season game. Jokic got a few games of a suspension, but Markieff Morris missed half the season because he literally had whiplash from the hit he took blindsided from the back. Not only is he a dirty player, but he's a cheap shot artist as well.
He's fat.
He's not out of shape looking, but I will give Jokic, his appearance does not match what he's really capable of doing.
He's a fat bum. I'm calling it now.
All right, you can say that. That's fine. Look, I think it's a great way to transition into it here. Sixers versus Heat, game 5 tonight. Back down to Miami. It's a 3-game series now. Best of 3. Everything resets tonight to an extent. Heat are a 3-point favorite. Do you really think? Because some will say no. If he needs that kind of if we could use the word highway robbery of that trophy as motivation at this point, then maybe he should need that to motivate him. But does that give him even an extra edge? Because let's be honest, the 2 games he's been back, Joel Embiid's played great, and we've won because he's back in the lineup. But he wasn't pre-broken face Joel Embiid good. We've seen Joel Embiid play better. Does that give him a little bit of an edge? Does it make him forget the pain a little bit more that he's playing through? Does it make him, I don't know, come out and just completely curb stomp the Heat tonight? Or is that not really going to, in one random game, it's not going to really make that much of a factor?
I mean, I have to disagree. I think it's a rallying cry for the entire team, not just Joel. I think A, the fact that Joel came back and they won 2 games, and B, the fact that he got snubbed, I think that almost like by default gives the team an edge, because the teammates are going to they're going to say, you know what, man, we really are letting Joel down. Not only did he not win the MVP, but he came back and all of a sudden we won 2 games. We need to step our game up big time. Like, not just Harden, I'm talking the whole team, which by the way, they did in game 4. I mean, they looked like a completely different team. They looked like the Sixers of the regular season. Obviously.
They look confident.
Or game 4. Yeah, exactly. It's confidence. And I think that Joel, obviously, we always look at points. Unfortunately, it's always like the numbers. But I think Joel, for what he's been through, he still had a very good game in game 4. I think he's going to get better each game that he gets his feet wet here coming back. Obviously, yes, he's playing with a lot of pain. I do think that having that edge can make you forget that pain. So I think it can be used in not just for Joel, but the entire team. Right. So what are your thoughts?
No, I absolutely think it can be motivated. I think you hit it on the head with the part that it's more, if it'll affect the teammates more than it'll affect Joel Embiid. They'll see that this guy is playing through. I already said it before. He was snubbed. That seeing him come back and play and fight through all these injuries and all this adversity has to you go out there and see this guy playing literally with a broken freaking face. I'm gonna channel my inner Kurt Angle. Broken freaking face. It's got to be uplifting. You're not going to put 98% energy out there when you see a guy like Joel Embiid. You're going to want to put 110% out there if Joel Embiid's fighting through all this. So it's got to help you motivate, step up. James Harden. So I want to talk confidence level check in game 5 here. Where's our confidence level? And it starts with James Harden. James Harden saw game 3, Joel Embiid come out and fight through how much pain to play and lead this team. If Joel Embiid doesn't come back in game 3, we're talking about a 4-game sweep in the opposite direction. We keep saying that if Embiid played the whole series, this series would be over already. Joel Embiid doesn't come back in game 3, this series is over in 4, and the Heat are already waiting for their next opponent. James Harden saw that in game 3, and James Harden also heard the outside noise of him being washed and him being, losing a step. And what did that all do? We saw Houston Harden the other night. So confidence level check. James Harden, can he do that again?
I mean, I know some people are going to disagree and just say that it was a one-off, but I find it hard to believe I don't believe in one-offs. If he did it in game 4, why can't he do it again? It's all to me, because I got to be honest with you. I think a lot of times in sports, not just basketball, but in any sport, James Harden has the talent. I think it's a mindset. And I think unless you have the right mindset, a lot of times you could be stuck in quicksand. Like, that might be why James Harden was like going through the motions, or because we don't know what's going on in the guy's head. We really don't. But I got to be honest. I saw a man that was possessed in game 4. So there's absolutely no reason why I don't think it can happen. Do I think it will? That's up to James Harden. Like, if James Harden wants to believe that that was a one-off, and he comes out with the back to the mindset of, well, I'm just going to go through the motions again, then he's not going to have another good game. He has to, his mindset has to be, I am the one, I'm going to dominate. And I know he came here saying, I want to be the number 2, but we're this far into the playoffs now. I think it's the time now and I'm not saying like he needs to fight with Joel Embiid, but I'm saying he needs to assert his dominance. Like, he's a dominant type A player. He really is. But he came here in a different role, so to speak. He's capable of being that guy. He showed it in game 4. He just has to his mind has to say he can do it. Because like I said, I'm not saying that you can like go out and throw 7 touchdowns in a game if you're a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. But realistically, you can. Nick Foles did it. And Nick Foles is not the most talented quarterback in the world. And he won a Super Bowl. It's all about mindset. So I really do. I believe James Harden, it's up to you. Do you want to be...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because if James Harden does turn it around and starts to I'm not saying like every game 31 points, but if he plays James Harden of old style the rest of this way out, and we go to the title or we win a championship, he would be beloved forever, regardless of the fact if he's basically washed. In our opinion.
So armchair commentary, until he shows it again, are you really confident? And that's actually where I'm at. Look, I'm not saying that he has to put up 30-plus points again, but he's got to come out and play confident. And you got to look beyond the box score sometimes, in my opinion. And look, I said it when James Harden got traded to Philly finally, that there's more pressure on James Harden and Daryl Morey than Joel Embiid, Doc Rivers, Tyrese Maxey, anybody else on the team. James Harden has now forced his way out of Houston and Brooklyn. He's here. He is 33, 34 years old, whatever it is. He is ranked one of the top 75 players of all time, but he's never won that chip. He's never made it to the finals. There is pressure on James Harden now, and it's up to him to up his game if he doesn't want that black mark on his resume when his number's called to go into the Hall of Fame. He doesn't want that, but no title. Great player that couldn't, win a chip. He doesn't want that there. Now, I don't have a high confidence level that he can come out and play with 31 plus points again, but I don't need it. I just want to see 20 to 25 points. I just want to see a confident James Harden. I want to see a Harden not get the ball stripped out of his hands, really easily. I want to see him draw the foul, not go to the basket and get the ball blocked. I just want to see a confident James Harden. And if he scores 22 points tonight in a confident fashion and we win, that's all I need. I just need to see the confidence there. The attitude, the aura you saw from his, like that he was oozing in game 4. I need to see that again. And that's the confidence. It's the mind game right there. Absolutely. That's what it is. That's all. And Armchair's bringing up the wanting to get paid. I said it. He was playing himself into not getting paid. So he needs to. He needs to play better if he wants to get paid.
I mean, in my opinion, the only way he gets paid is if the Sixers make the finals. Like, if they don't make the finals with this team, no, I'm not paying him. Like, they have to. You got to make a serious run here.
I thought it was $37 million. Someone corrected me yesterday. It's $47 million. It's the player option for next year. So if he's not going to get a big deal, he's just going to pick up the option and be here next year on a $47 million deal. So
I got that. But my point is like I said, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it really is the confidence level. And I think James Harden is absolutely more than capable of taking over a game. He, like I said, he showed it. Now, am I confident he's going to do it again? I don't know, because I don't know what's going on with him. There's something not right, or hasn't been right with him, as far as, I don't think it's his skill, that he's lacking skill, because like I said, you don't just lose your skill like that overnight. Like, you don't become like going from a top 10 player to a top 30 player overnight. It doesn't happen that way. I believe more so it's mental. And I think that when he came here in that lesser role, that that is a big humbling experience for anybody. Like, okay, I'll give you an example in my own profession. Like, I was a manager. I was the store manager, right? I had to, I ran my own store, made all my decisions, wrote schedules. I've done that. There came a time when I had some stuff going on. I had to step down. It's very humbling once you're already the boss to take that step back and be like not the boss, if that makes sense.
It does.
And I'm using that to just explain that a lot of times it does play mind tricks with you, like, because you want to be that, humble person that says, yeah, that's me. But a lot of times you're fighting back, with that attitude that, oh, I am the guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think for James Harden, it's clear that he still has something left in the tank. It's just a matter of, is he going to put it all together, and is he going to play the way he's capable of? And I think there's no better time than right now. Like, it's it. It's do or die. And I'm not saying it's do or die because obviously it's a 7-game series, but I want to come out tonight with a focus to say this is a must-win game, because if you don't win tonight, now the pressure is all back on you again. The Sixers have the momentum. So if they can win tonight, I really believe that puts them over the top. Like, but you got to come out. It's all about attitude. It is. And,
I love this comment here. Championships teams put everything aside. If you're going to win a championship, you got to put all the outside noise aside, and that's how you take it. I love
my
that
only concern. I got one concern, and I think it's probably the same concern that you had, and that's Doc Rivers. Like, is Doc Rivers' ugly head going to rear its head, again? Like, I don't know. Like, he's shown signs that he's turning a corner, and then I see him make some boneheaded mistakes as far as decision making. So my concern is Doc Rivers going to let this team? Hey, there's Al.
Yeah,
Doc Rivers going to let.
You can actually see him there. Yeah, there he is. He somehow got into the office, and this is like his favorite window because he can see the neighbor's house. He can see the farm that's behind the neighbor's house. He loves sitting there looking out that window there. Hey, there you are, buddy. And he also trips over the laptop cord and unplugs the laptop whenever he can.
Al made appearance. I love when Al makes
that's Al's first appearance on Trending in the AM, I believe. Confidence level check, Game 5 tonight. Do the Sixers win? And how confident are you that they can win? They are 3-point dogs at this moment in Miami.
I mean, at this point in time, I gotta say, after seeing Game 5 or Game 4, I'm pretty confident. I think it's evident that Joel, when he's in the lineup, this team is just a different team. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say 65% Sixers win tonight, and I'm gonna say the score is gonna be about. It's going to be a 104-99
close game. I'm 100% confident that it's going to be a 5 or less point game. It's going to be close. It's going to be down to the wire. Look, the last game, Tyler Hero shot. We talked about Game 1 and 2, how we shot. Like, Danny Green was 0-7 in that one game, and then he comes back and throws a 6-for-7 spot up or 7-8 spot up, whatever it is. Look, Tyler Hero's not going to shoot that bad. He's going to make a few more shots. But confidence level, I'm confident that this team, and I think we didn't talk about it because I didn't want to spend the episode talking about, the coach. But I'm confident. Freddie Defo, only a few people, me being one of them, will get that reference. But that's a fantastic reference right there. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh man, Jason's looking like he has no clue. You can't count on Danny Green. Yeah, well, you can't, but you can count on Danny Green to put effort out there every single game. Whether he makes it, he's either going to go 0 for 7 or 7 for 7, but he's going to try. And he's not going to lose. Shooters are going to shoot. I am confident that the Sixers will keep this close, that it'll be a 5 or less point game. If Doc Rivers does not screw up tonight, I didn't want to spend the episode talking Doc Rivers. But if Doc Rivers does not, I guarantee when we come on tomorrow, we got a special guest tomorrow, Isaiah Hansen from the Athletes Hub. He's going to be joining us tomorrow to talk Sixers and NBA playoffs in general. If we have to talk about a Sixers loss tomorrow, I'm 99% confident that we will be blaming Doc Rivers for the loss. He will make some kind of boneheaded mistake, boneheaded rotational move, something like that. That will be what we'll be talking about. We won't be talking about anything else other than that. But I'm going to say the Sixers win as well. And I'm going to say, you said 101-96, right?
No, 104-99.
104. All right, so I'll say 101-96.
Okay.
But it's going to be a 5-point win. We are going to take it. We are going to win. And
I think Embiid's going to – I actually think – sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I think Embiid's actually going to come out and hit 30 tonight, 30 points
30,
at least. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think you're going to see a signature Embiid dominant, back to his feeling better self.
Jason, after the show, you got to look up Scott Steiner math. That's all you got to type in. It's one of the old I know you know your Steiner brothers.
That's my homework.
Yeah, that's your homework. Look up what Steiner math means. Definitely taking the under in this game. 110%. And like I said, I'll take the Sixers. I said after last game I'm giving up basketball betting because I think I've hit one basketball bet the entire season, but I might bet the +3 and the under and parlay them together tonight, Armchair. There's a very good possibility I might break my no more basketball betting and bet it again tonight. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for bets. Anyway,
we gotta have Armchair on as a guest.
I know. I've been chatting with him, trying to find a time that we can get him in here. Absolutely. I've been talking.
He's always commenting. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. All right. So let's transition from one team to the next team. We'll talk Phillies here next, but real quick, we're going to pay a quick commercial break and pause in the action. What's up, everybody? Phil Stiefel here. Trending in the AM. Look at this site right here, 99jersey.com. Proud supporter of all Trending in the AM shows. Make sure you check them out. Like I said, 99jersey.com. They have the best jerseys of all your favorite athletes from high school, college, movies, TV shows. You got the Kobe Bryant, Lower Merion, the Charlie Conway, Mighty Ducks. Everybody always asks where I got my Sugar Shane Falco jersey back there from the Replacements movie. 99jersey.com. I mean, Magic Johnson, Michigan State, Lonzo Ball, Jalen Rose, you name it, Russell Westbrook, you name it, they've got it on this site. Make sure you check them out, 99jersey.com. Use promo code TRENDING at checkout. It gets you 15% off right away. 99jersey.com, promo code TRENDING. Yo, support the podcast that brings you the heat every single morning. All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Here, Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. I'm Phil Stiefel, your host with my main man, Jason Voorhees here. And we're going to transition from Sixers. Sorry, Armchair. This is not basketball talk. We're going to transition briefly. We're still going to talk Jalen Hurts, and we're going to talk Eagles later in the show here. But we are going to transition to a little Phillies talk here. Because while we were all sleeping, at least us older people, the Phillies were playing a baseball game. I hate Jason. I hate West Coast swings. I hate them so much. I cannot stay awake for a baseball game that starts at 10 o'clock at night. Call me old. Maybe when I was 22, I might stay up till 2 a.m., have a beer, watch the game, and still roll out of bed 6, 7 a.m. and get to work on time. But, dude, if I would have stayed awake for last night's baseball game, dude, there would be no show right now because I'd still be sound asleep. I'd be on the fourth alarm, and it still wouldn't be getting me out of bed. So the Phillies last night, they beat the Seattle Mariners 9-0. Phillies' first shutout of the year. Ranger Suarez. I'm just going off of box scores here. Ranger Suarez pitched 6 shutout innings. Joe Girardi let him go over 100 pitches. And the Phillies offense, was able to put 17 hits on the board. You have been dead set all season long talking about the Phillies offense is constructed of a bunch of inconsistent, streaky hitters. Is last night 9 runs, 17 hits. Is that the start, maybe, of one of these runs where this team just gets red hot and just starts scoring runs and putting boatloads of runs on the board?
I mean, that's the whole problem. They came out last night and they did this, and then tonight they'll get shut out by a no-namer who throws, a bullpen, pitching game where there's 5 bullpen guys and they get a shutout. Like, that's the Phillies in a nutshell. Like, that's been their season so far. It's just inconsistency. I would love to hope that this is them turning the corner. But like I said, I've seen this charade before where they put up, a shellacking and then they get shellacked. So I can't sit here and say, or else I'd be lying. I can't sit here and say that my confidence meter just went up. What I will say is that I like to see, I like the fact that Rhys Hoskins actually got off the schneid and, had himself a pretty good game last night. I don't want to, take credit for that or anything because I did bash the guy yesterday.
You did call out Bryce Harper last year. You said trade Bryce Harper. He's a bum. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. And then Bryce Harper turned in an MVP season. So maybe if you keep bashing Rhys Hoskins, maybe Rhys Hoskins wins an MVP.
I mean, I would hope so. Maybe I should start bashing more people. But no, the bottom line is, like I said, my confidence meter is still unsold on the Phillies. But, I obviously they are a team that they're going to beat you with their bats, not with their pitching. We all know that. I mean, now, last night, they got a good pitching performance by Ranger. He actually went 6 innings, had 7 strikeouts, only walked 2. So that's good to see. You love to see a guy that goes more than 5 innings in this day and age, especially when you have –
You just love to see a guy get allowed to throw 100 pitches.
Well, yeah, and I was just going to say, especially when you have Wheeler and Eflin on the COVID IL, so you don't know if you're going to have them for, this next couple games. You do got Nola on the bump tonight,
who's pitched really well the last 2 or 3 outings.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think the whole thing with Aaron Nola is, if you look at his career, it's always an up or down swing. Like, he'll have a really good year and then a kind of an off year. So I'm expecting Aaron Nola to have a better year this year. I already said that. I'm not saying he's an ace. Obviously, I've done that. Yeah. Been there, done that with that argument. But I do think that Aaron Nola is definitely pitching with a lot more confidence this year. You can see it. I don't know, Phil. Like I said, what are your thoughts? I mean, where are you at?
My confidence level is rising in the sense of in the short term. Because the question is the offense. We're just talking about the offense. We're not talking about wins, losses. We're just talking the offense. And we know this is a streaky team. So them getting 9 runs last night gives me some confidence that they could parlay that into 7 or 8 runs tonight, 7 or 8 runs today. We might see a week where we average 6.5, 7 runs. The problem is at the confidence level of the team, and you now with Eflin and Wheeler now on the COVID list, we got Aaron Nola tonight, but then we've got 2 straight games where, as of this moment, there is no starting pitcher listed. I'll be the first to admit, Aaron Nola, I'm down on Aaron Nola. I'm a guy that says Aaron Nola is not an ace or a number 2 pitcher, but he's given up 1 run, 3 runs, and 0 runs, 2 runs and 3 runs. So in his last 5 starts, he's had 6 starts. He got roughed up a little bit in his first start. He has not given up more than 3 runs in his last 5 starts. That's pretty damn solid. He's got his ERA down to 3.38. He's still giving up 1 or 2 hanging curveballs a game that get knocked out of the park. He does that still. He always will do that. But if he can limit base runners so that those bombs that he gives up are solo shots, I can live with that. You can live with 2 solo home runs a game, right? From your starting pitcher. So, my confidence level is rising also, he hasn't been getting a ton of run support. But what we're saying is that hopefully yesterday starts the trend that they are. The one thing that we are starting to see the last 3 or 4 games, most of them, is finally some consistency of the lineup. Outside of one game, Schwarber's been in the leadoff spot now several games in a row. Alec Boehm is thriving. You're moving a young kid like him into the 2-hole. That might put a little pressure. You might see a little downtick. It's not. He's actually upticking even more in that 2-hole. You still got Harper. You put Castellanos where he belongs, back in the 4-hole. Dude, Castellanos, can we just say for a second how great of a baseball hitter he is? The boy knows how to hit baseballs. He's a professional. He's a power hitter, but he's a professional hitter. He doesn't get into all this launch angle and analytical BS. He just sees the ball and he just mashes it. He's an old. I would have loved to have seen him with that Charlie Manuel style offense where just go up there and mash the ball. I mean, I would love to hear Charlie Manuel's thoughts on Nick Castellanos. It's like guaranteed say, "Oh, he's a hitter." I can just hear Charlie's Southern drawl talking about Nick Castellanos. JT, you've left this lineup now. You've got a good thing going. Let's see if Joe Girardi. We talk about Doc Rivers being the thing that'll hold the Sixers back. Joe Girardi and his writing of the lineup. Reese Hoskins got a couple hits last night because he was dropped to that 7th hole. I don't want to see Joe Girardi mess it up and bump him back up to the 5 hole tonight. Leave him in the 7 hole to take that pressure. We need to see that consistency with the offense, the lineup. And I think that my confidence meter, it's going up. It's going up if Joe Girardi keeps it the same. That's what it comes down to. It's all on Joe Girardi, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you can't I think that might be a lot of not might. I think we've already come to the conclusion that is a big part of the reason why the Phillies have been struggling.
Right.
Because there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no identity.
No identity.
When you keep switching the lineup like that, it just basically tells your guys like, oh, well, we're going to just switch it up. Like, baseball is a game of rhythm. It's a game of streaks. It's a game of being able to see the ball and know where you're at. It's a game of, situations. And the problem is the Phillies hitting, although their average, you look at their batting average, they're in the top of the league. They're in the top 5. They might even be the 3rd best after last night. It's situational hitting where they are absolutely shitting the bed. And that, my friends, is where it really is. A lot of that is on the manager. You need to hold people accountable. If they're going up there and they're swinging at the first pitch and they keep doing it, that's a problem. You need to have them focused. That's when you have a sit down talk. Yo, bud, start taking some pitches. That's part of the problem. They're going up there they don't have a good approach at the plate. Mm-hmm. If you have a lineup like the Phillies do, you need to be patient. You cannot go up there and swing at every pitch, or else you will have games where you get shut out and no hit. That's the problem. Like, it's a mentality. Once again, we talk about how important mentality is. Mentality is extremely important in baseball, especially at the plate. So confidence breeds success. Success breeds confidence. They both go they're both intertwined. And you're seeing that confidence with Alec Boehm, and I'm glad that they did move him up. We talked about that, how long, and finally they did. I would love to just see this lineup. Let's give it a 10-game stretch here, okay? So let's just do it. Let them see what they're going to do. Kyle Schwarber is definitely going to come out sooner or later. Like, I know he's still slumping as far as, his average is down and his on-base percentage is pretty low. That's going to turn around. Just give it some time. But I agree. Hoskins in the 7 hole. Let him just get out of that. Let him protect the lineup.
Pressure-free hitting for 10 days.
Exactly. I'm all on board with what you said. I agree 100%.
Okay, so you got Robbie Ray going for Seattle tonight. Really good veteran pitcher against Aaron Nola. Can we make it 2 in a row tonight?
Yeah, I think they will make it 2 in a row.
We go Phillies clean sweep 2 for 2. Phillies win, Sixers win.
Yeah, I think they will, and that's my frustration with the Phillies. Like, Seattle's actually not a bad team. Like, they have a very young team, but they're beatable. They're not like, an upper echelon team, but a lot of times that's the teams the Phillies struggle with. The teams that they should win, that's why we always struggle against the Marlins. Regardless of the situation, you could sit there and say, oh, the Phillies are favored by 5 runs, and we end up blowing the game or losing. And same thing with the Mets. Like, right now, the Mets have our number. Now, we don't play the Mets. I know we got the 2 games rained out, but after that, if you look at it, we played all our games against the Mets early. I don't think we play the Mets again until like
later this month,
August or September. No, after that, I'm talking.
We play them again in a couple
after
weeks.
That, it's like a big length of time. So you got to beat teams in your division because that's where you're going to gain your ground.
Absolutely.
I think they win tonight. I'll give you a score prediction. I think they keep the offense going. I'm not going to say 9. I'm going to say 7-2.
All right. Aaron that means another good performance from Aaron Nola. Good. Yes. I like it. I'm confident in that. All right. So we're going to transition for the final 15 here. Football schedule gets released Thursday. So I'm trying to bring the Eagles and the NFL back into the conversation this week. Got some great guests lined up for the second half of this week. Chris Franklin, NJ.com will be on Thursday. Connor Miles from SI.com and Eagles Maven on Friday. So we got to have a little brief intro. So because tomorrow's going to be recapping Sixers. We're going to spend a lot of time talking Sixers and basketball tomorrow. Obviously, recapping Game 5. So let's dabble in a little Eagles and a little football here for the end of the show. And confidence meter, confidence level with Jalen Hurts. I put out a tweet earlier this week, or maybe it was on the weekend. Jalen Hurts, no more excuses. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got second-year Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, a running team, because a running back committee, we'll call it, a great offensive line. There are no excuses. He is not a rookie anymore. Nick Sirianni is not a rookie head coach calling the plays anymore. So your confidence level that there's no more excuses for Jalen Hurts and that he can beat last year's results, I don't know how to phrase it, that he's going to actually improve. I'm not saying he's going to go out and be, the confidence level and being the MVP. I made a joke about that recently. Jalen Hurts MVP season, here we come. Not talking about that kind of level, but the confidence level you have that Jalen Hurts can take a step forward to convince everybody that he is the Eagles quarterback going forward.
I mean, I think my confidence level in Jalen Hurts has definitely went up. It's hard not to have more confidence in a person when you added weapons, and you added arguably a top 10 wide receiver in the National Football League.
Top 5.
Well, arguably top 5. I already had that argument, but we'll leave that for another day. I know.
I was just throwing that in there.
A.J. Brown.
Picking your side on that one.
It's not even just about the stats. It's about what A.J. Brown provides on the field. He's gonna take a lot of double coverage, which is actually gonna help the Eagles because Devonta Smith, who we saw last year, one of the best wide receivers at running routes already as a rookie, is going to be that much more open. He already showed an ability last year. Obviously, towards the end of the season, you could tell he was starting to get more confident. Having A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith means that Dallas Goedert is now going to be an extremely better weapon. He's already one of the best tight ends in the league. They got a lot. They have a great young core. You're right. There is no excuse. It's time for Jalen Hurts to put up or shut up. And I believe he's going to put up. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. He's probably never will be. I think that he's capable, if he gets his ceiling, to be a top 10, maybe top 12. And that's okay with me because if you don't need a Pat Mahomes to win a Super Bowl, you don't. But you need to have a quarterback that's able to put the ball where it needs to be. And I think Jalen can be better. Will he? I don't know, Phil. And that's the argument. That's why there's so much dissension among the ranks.
Are you in the green still, like so not confident? Are you in the yellow, getting confident? Are you in the orange? Or are you in the red that you're super overconfident? Like, no, I want to judge where you're at.
I think I've always been a Hurts guy. You guys know that. I'm a lot more confident in Jalen Hurts than a lot of people. And we see in the Eagles Twitter, we see a lot of, with Jalen Hurts, it's either black or white. There's no middle ground. There's never middle ground. It's like it's either he sucks and he's not an NFL quarterback, or he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm in the middle. I've always been in the middle. But I do believe that there's something to be said to adding weapons around a quarterback. And you've seen it. Josh Allen, obviously, now listen, not comparing Jalen Hurts to Josh Allen, but when you use a comparison, you can say that Josh Allen in his first 2 years sucked in the NFL.
What are you doing comparing Josh Allen to Jalen Hurts? How dare you, Jason?
Josh Allen has extremely better arm talent. Yes, guys, I'm saying it. He does. He has better arm talent than Jalen Hurts. He's a lot stronger armed quarterback. Okay? But Jalen Hurts has a lot of the things that Josh Allen does too. Jalen Hurts can run, and Jalen Hurts uses that strength. Josh Allen still runs. We saw his coach saying he needs to run less. Okay? So don't tell me that there's no comparison between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. They might not be the same as far as talent ceiling, but they have some of the similarities. And the one similarity that you're going to see this year is the Eagles added a wide receiver one. Finally, we haven't had a wide receiver one realistically since Terrell Owens. And I am thanking God right now, because I know that having that kind of guy, and especially with the chemistry that him and AJ have, being best friends, it's only going to help. In my opinion, Jalen Hurts takes a step forward this year. I'm not saying he's the guy, but he shows growth. He shows an ability to be more accurate. He starts to show an ability that he can actually read a defense better and get the ball out, and he doesn't go to his first read all the time. He's going to show little improvements, and I think people are going to finally say...
I want to touch on that specific point right there.
Okay.
About him reading the defenses. And it's something that he gets criticized a lot for, right? Obviously. But adding A.J. Brown increases... So what I want to get at is Jalen Hurts was late on reading a lot of defenses, probably because he didn't have confidence in his offense. When you're throwing to Jalen Reagor and Jonathan Hightower and whoever else he was, by throwing to A.J. Brown in there, like you said, Devontae Smith won't be double covered every time. Dallas Goedert will be wide open over the middle. A.J. Brown, bringing him in, top 5'7" wide receiver in this league, it just opens it up. He can read the defense and let it rip, because he doesn't have to worry about, well, did I miss somebody that's, shadowing? No, there's going to be open guys. So he's going to be able to just let it rip. He's going to be able to play more freely, more open, a lot looser than he was in last year. And I think that's the key, because the reading of the defense wasn't an issue to the extent that people made it out to be. I just think he was so concerned about making a mistake, because Devontae Smith always had two guys blanket him. Dallas Goedert always had a safety and a linebacker on him. Now that's not going to happen. There will be somebody open on every play, and he's going to be able to have the confidence to let it rip on those plays, because you can't guard everybody. You can't cover everybody.
Here's another one that's going to get me in trouble.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, because it's just, I hate whenever you bring up a point, how the trolls come out and they're like, but I'm going to tell you a quarterback who in his first couple years was basically, I don't want to say bashed, but basically ridiculed, and he had pretty awful stats his first 3 years. Actually, his third year is the year he took the step forward. Drew Brees. Now,
hold on. You got bashed for comparing Josh Allen to Jalen Hurts. Not by me, because I agree. I see it.
I'm not comparing him. I'm saying if Drew Brees in year 3.
No.
Listen,
if you think the trolls came out at you, you're going to get it for that one.
That's okay. because I'm okay with that. You see, that's the problem, though. Nobody understands the context, Phil, and either of you, you're laughing.
Oh,
I'm
gonna get somebody from Team DSM to edit out a little section of this so that it can be taken out of context and get you all over the internet there.
You're being the troll.
I know. I'm gonna troll you right up there.
What I'm saying is that everyone thinks the problem in today's world is instant gratification.
Absolutely.
So everyone expects the quarterback to come out year one and be Pat Mahomes every single year. That's what they want. That's what they expect. That's what they want. But it doesn't work that way all the time. And what I'm saying is Drew Brees is the perfect example of that. His first 2 years in the league, he was horrible, okay? Year 3, he took a step forward. Now, Drew Brees had a lot of weapons. Antonio Gates, right? LaDainian Tomlinson, 2 Hall of Famers, right? Phil, you're laughing, but you're not listening.
No, I'm laughing at the comment. I'm listening. I was laughing at the comment.
My points are that
I get it. I agree with you 100%.
Guys like Drew Brees get praised for being great, but they also have weapons.
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts was bashed all last year for throwing, or 2 years ago, for throwing to guys like Kes Watkins and freaking slop, okay? So let's see what he does with weapons before we start making an excuse. That's all I'm saying. That's all I've ever said.
I 100% agree with you, and I get what you're doing. I know you're not comparing these guys like physically side by side comparison. You're just comparing their trajectory and what they went through as a football player. I understand that, but I get why the trolls come out. I do. I get it.
But my points are all valid. I didn't make any invalid points.
No. Your fat points are invalid if you take it out of context. If I could just crop out 1 second of the show,
and that happens too much in the Twitter world and the Twitterverse. It happens way too often because the bottom line is, like I said, all I'm saying is that everyone wants that instant guy. They want the Justin Herbert. There's only a few, and everyone else is chasing. So we have Hurts. My whole thing with Jalen Hurts has always been, I'm not ready to say that he's a franchise guy, but at least give him some weapons before we make the determination whether Jalen Hurts can be or cannot be successful in this league. That's all I've said. And I think this year we're going to get that because he finally has weapons.
Agreed.
Now it's all in him.
A little tidbit into your thing there, just to stir the pot a little bit. You know, I was reading about rookie camp over the weekend. Carson Strong supposedly looked really good at rookie camp.
Oh God, here we go.
So you know, I'm legit. I'm not joking. The reports coming out of rookie camp.
Of course it did.
Strong looked really
because this town loves a quarterback controversy.
I know. He came out. He looked good. Nick Sirianni said for a rookie, a young kid, he had a very good understanding of the
Carson
playbook.
Strong was originally supposed to be a first-round pick, and we got him as an undrafted free agent. Excellent.
He's got bad knees. There's no doubt about it. He's got a great arm. Carson Strong is the complete opposite of Jalen Hurts. He literally is Peyton Manning-esque behind the line. He can't move. He's got two bricks for feet, but he's got a strong arm and an accurate arm. He's a 70% complete, but you can't let him get blitzed because he won't be able to. He's not mobile at all, and he's got bad knees. I'm joking a little bit there.
Anybody in their right mind, though, that believes that the Eagles did not sign him for 3 reasons is crazy. They signed him to give Jalen competition because you never want to not have competition in that quarterback.
And if your quarterback can't get in competition, then you don't want him anyway.
Well, exactly, and that was Carson Wentz. So we're past that. But they signed him for that. But they also signed him knowing that if Jalen doesn't succeed this year, they have another bridge. Because I believe what Howie's looking at is, yes, we want the franchise guy because, like I said, everyone's chasing it. But you're not going to go out and just trade or sign these mega million deals because, like I said, is that necessarily the right move? If the Eagles were one player away I'm almost guaranteeing that they would have been more in on Russell Wilson than they were. Not that they weren't in on him, because they were. It was reported. You're not going to make those kind of moves, though, when you're not that close. So in knowing that, Howie, what he says is, okay, we have Jalen. Jalen's going to get this year. We just said it. This is the year. He got the weapons, so there's no excuse. If Jalen Hurts has a bad year this year or doesn't show any growth, I will almost guarantee that he will be out, and they will go with Carson Strong, and they'll look in the draft next year. They'll say, well, who's available? Is there a great quarterback coming out, or is somebody going to come available? Because by then you're going to know more where your team is and how close you are to going to that next level and contending. And that's exactly the way that Howie Roseman operates.
We got to wrap up here, but you talk about, they were one player away. Now that we have A.J. Brown, do you think in hindsight, if Howie knew he was going to be able to get A.J. Brown for as cheaply as he did? Because let's be honest, he got A.J. Brown really cheaply. That was a steal of a draft or a trade on draft night there. Do you think, knowing that in advance, he might have made a stronger push? Because let's be honest, his offense is better now that A.J. Brown is here. The defense, it's improved. We'll see how it plays next year. But are we closer than we think to one player away now because we've got A.J. Brown? You throw Russell Wilson with A.J. Brown and the rest of this offense, it might be a top 10, top 5 offense. Maybe.
They're definitely that much closer, but they also, you can't ignore the moves they made on defense. And, if they can get Bradbury, then we're talking like.
We're not. I want everybody to pump that for one reason. We got about $5 to $10 million in cap space.
I know we don't have the cap.
If nobody else is willing to, like, what we can afford to pay him, he may want to come here. I don't know. But what we can afford to pay him, if that's all it takes, then that means there's something wrong with Bradbury. Because Bradbury's good enough to get more than what we can afford. And I'm not sure how many more contracts are left that could be restructured this year. So that's my concern with Bradbury.
It's a pipe dream. I agree. I'm just saying.
If we sign him to a Steven Nelson 1-year, $5 million deal, then what's wrong with him that's what he's taking? I'm getting at there. Like,
you're 100% spot on. I agree. I'm just saying, in a perfect world, I would love to obviously.
Yeah, really, but it's not a perfect world.
But I think our team already on paper, yes, is closer to contending. I'm not saying we're ready to be big players in that market, but what I'm saying is I think they will take a step forward. But by the end of the year, you're going to know exactly where this team is moving, whether they're going to stick with Hurts or not. Because if he turns the corner and has a good year, I'm pretty sure he's going to get an extension at that point. Like, I think this is the year. This is definitely on paper the year. Now that's cliche to say because it's obviously the year. It's in his hands. But
I'm actually looking at the first 2 or 3 games and saying if he plays well in those first 2 or 3 games, even slight improvement, I'm giving him a contract right away because you'll get him at a cheaper price. You know what I mean? He's never going to get the $60 million deal or what's Kyler Murray want, $70 million or something like that right now. Insane. Get the hell out of here. But I'm locking him up. If you look at all the deals Howie's done with Goddard, with Maddox, with Sweat, with Jordan Mailata, the deal he gave Jordan Mailata specifically, locked him up a little earlier. He took a chance. But now you got Jordan Mailata for the next 5 years at a steal of a price.
Now, did Kyler Murray resign?
No, he has not. And he claims he's coming into his last year of his deal, and he says he will not play on it. He wants the latest report is he wants $70 million a year.
He's not going to play this year?
Well, he'll play. But he's claiming he won't.
Well,
so maybe he'll go out of camp. I don't know.
He is a name to watch, though, because I think if Hurts struggles, I could see the Eagles becoming a player in that market. Like, he's young. He that's a typical Howie move right there.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a quarter, you know how everyone wanted Rodgers and Wilson. Not that Wilson. Listen, Wilson. I would have loved Russell Wilson. Who wouldn't? If you say you wouldn't, you're an idiot. But
exactly.
Russell Wilson is a stud. But That being said, I believe Kyler Murray's the kind of guy that Howie would look for, especially in this team that they rebuilt.
I put Kyler Murray more in that Deshaun Watson group, where he's going to look at him. You spend a lot of draft capital, get him. You sign him to a big long term. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying down the line. Obviously, it
was good to bring Eagles talk back into the conversation.
It's passionate.
We got more on the horizon. I can't wait for Chris Franklin, my main man, over there at NG.com, and Connor Miles, this week to come on the show. But hey, guys, we're going to wrap the show up there for today. Trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Like I said, jam-packed rest of the week. Isaiah Hansen, Chris Franklin, Connor Miles, guests all week. Jason is going to be on with me all week. First 5 for 5. For Jason Curry. Make sure you take back by the DSM Media. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow button on Twitter. Fear to Knowledge. Mustang 3651. DSM_media. Make sure you stay captain the entire week. Lots of comments to go. Jason, let's wrap this up in 6 games. 6 is it?